now, talk about truly an honor. We get to interview or have this incredible call with our eldest son, Harrison, that I am so excited that you get to share your journey. Be nice. You get to share your journey about really witnessing how this whole story came about and unfolded, and the millions of times you've heard the story, which you cannot forget, but really being just as important to this as Mom and I, and all of your creative input and feedback and just excitement that we're really excited that you get to share with everyone. So world, this is our son Harrison. Son Harrison, this is the world.
Hello world.
Hello. And
so tell everybody, where are you right now?
I am in beautiful Lake Tahoe. It's my first time here, and up here with some friends. The river's right here, so if you can hear it, that's what you're listening to.
That's amazing.
It's so beautiful. I see behind you, it looks like a painting.
It really
is.
Very serene.
Yeah, it's just a giant Bob Ross painting.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow. And you're probably have cooler weather than we are here in Arizona, because I think today only was 109 or something, but it's a dry heat. Just the small animals campfire here.
I think it's like 70 something right now.
Nice.
And it snowed last weekend.
I know, that was awesome. That was awesome. Well, share or tell us how you have seen and witnessed and how this has affected you or impacted your life and your friends' lives, because wow, talk about you gifting. I can't even remember how many intention sticks to so many of your friends and close friends, or people randomly, again, no randomness, but you met to really think they need an intention stick. So, Mom, I usually could talk for 9 hours. So this is really.
Yeah, well, Harrison, you've been with us, obviously, every step of the way, really. Yeah. And so, in fact, most people may not know, but you actually designed the packaging for the Tree of Life intention stick. And you were the inspiration of how this all really unfolded with the intention stick, with the 22 intentions. And we were wondering if you could talk about that a little bit.
Sure. About how the packaging came to be, or?
Well, I would actually have you go back a step further. So you really have witnessed the creation or evolution of the life and the intention stick, and going back almost 9 years ago when I gave Mom
we could go back.
the pendant, that I know she shared with you and the rest of the kids, and just maybe take it from there and what you've witnessed and how through your eyes you've seen or can describe in such a different point of view versus coming from us. So it'd be amazing to hear what you witnessed, what you saw, and yes, build up to the packaging and then stories. So however you see it.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know where to start. There's a lot. Well, I remember. What? What?
I said when I was a little baby, my mom.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I remember when you made the pendant from Mom, and the one that she always wears. Yes. And then from there, I pretty much remember it just kind of exploding from there. Once Mom had that, you guys kind of had your aha moment. That it was, for me, it seemed like, especially looking back on it, it just seems like it was like a rocket ship. Like it's just like this is the purpose. This is our purpose. And then, I mean, it didn't go that quickly. But to me, like when you look back on it, it feels like as soon as mom had that pendant, it was like boom. And then all of a sudden you made all these collections different with the Tree of Life. And then it just sort of evolved and it kept evolving. And that to me was one of the coolest things. Cause like as when for me, for instance, when making a film, you start out with like this little idea and then you like spin it and it starts talking. So like to see that with like a piece of jewelry that's now become like this tree of like this big thing that's just blossomed into, it's really cool. So for me, I think that's been the coolest part, is to see that from one idea you have this big idea, this even bigger idea, but you didn't even know. And that's, to me, that's the coolest part, that you didn't know by making this one thing for mom that it would become this global thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Right. And
Yeah.
if like you as a writer and a producer and making films, the thing that I've learned, I'm just talking about the beginning of the journey, was to listen, right? To listen to the messages or the inspiration. And we never know, as you just said, where it's going to take us.
Yeah.
But it feels right in your heart. And with
right.
every ounce of your being, it's correct, and it just feels good, and you have to trust that.
Yeah.
And really, mom and I have, like you said, yes, the pendant was the gift for our 21-year anniversary almost 9 years ago, and then wow, all the different collections and different charities and causes with the tree on one side, and then that now, which is interesting that you get to really see, which I believe you remember almost 4.5 years ago when I had the vision of the tube and then the tree.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Doesn't seem like.
Yeah, it's wow, right? Don't blink.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It feels like a rocket. It doesn't. It just feels like it took off like yesterday.
And
last week.
And somebody has hit the fast forward now. I could tell you that. Wow. But witnessing that, when we had that next aha moment of had the vision of the tube and our tree being wrapped around the tube, and then mom and I seeing and receiving those 22 intentions and sharing this with not just you but the kids and everyone, was really, this is where I want to kind of, how did you perceive it? How did you take that in? Like, okay, mom and dad, okay, sure, you guys are crazy, mom and dad, you're weird, even though I know you don't think that way, but it would be really great to hear how you saw that.
I think at first I kind of felt like that, that it's like, oh, it's like something else that you guys are doing. But once I think because we all started going through it together, it started off as like a family movement, is what, like, because you had this idea and then you're like, you wanted to share it with us. And that was the first little piece of sharing it, was giving it to the four of us. And that was really cool, because then we got to experience this little journey of the intention, just us first. And then I think like it was an experiment, kind of, but it was cool. It was really, because then, we all kind of understood it together. And then that's where it started to go. But at first, sure, I thought it was a little different, because thinking back, like, we weren't as open or as spiritual as we are now. Like, you look back and we're like almost completely different. And so like that to me is one of the big things, is just the journey that we've taken, not only as individuals but as a family, is pretty amazing. And like just the way that we think and do things, and like all the help that like they're giving to people is just amazing. So yeah, for me, I think it's really opened a lot of mental and spiritual doors, not even for outside stuff, but a lot of internal things, and just the way I think and interact with people. When I speak with people, especially with friends that are like might be going through something, or they know of someone going through something, my first instinct is, what would mom say to this person, or what would dad say to this person? And the first thing that usually comes to mind is when mom says, well, what's your intention? What did you set? Do you have an intention? Did you set your intention? And so that's usually where I start my conversations with people, is like, what do you intend to get out of the situation or this conversation, or yada da. And usually I say, like, like, are you looking to succeed? Are you looking to have happy, whatever intent, I throw out a couple intentions, ones that I think will click, and they go, oh, I didn't think about it like that. And so, having been through this journey, you start picking up things, and especially when you hear all these other stories, it's easier to help pinpoint and help guide others, which I think is for me has been the biggest piece of the intention stick, is not only for myself, but is how can I help guide another with whatever they're going through. I just did it the other night. A friend of mine was having some issues with someone that they were seeing, and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to handle it. And so I said, you know what? Here, I have in my intention stick, what did I have? I'd like love and kindness and something else. And I said, you know what? You hold on to it. I know I'm going to see you in an hour. So take it, use it, and whether you need it or not, just know that those words are in there. And because the person was like, oh, like actually, I really resonate with those words right now. And so they held on to it, took it, did their business, whatever they had to do, and they gave it back, and they said, thank you so much. Like that helped so much. Just hearing those words and knowing that those words were there, that it really like relaxed them. So yeah.
So beautiful.
So just something as simple as that, like part of me is like, it's mine. Part of me is like, this is one that like my parents, this, that you gave me, this one of the first ones. And it's like, I don't really want to give it to you, but I know at that moment that me like is doesn't, like, I don't need to, like,
you're good.
What's the word? Like I'm fine. I'm not as important in this moment than like as having this than that person needed it. They obviously needed it more than I did at that moment. So there was something telling me like, just take it off. It was like almost instinctual. It was just like, here, like, use it.
You were certain of it. You were certain of that particular instance.
Yeah.
That person needed the energy that you were carrying more than you did, because as Dad just said, you were good at that moment. You had it. You were grounded and you felt rooted with those intentions, and that you felt strong enough, encouraged enough to be able to hand that to that person, so that they have exactly what you were carrying. And it's
so beautiful.
And you know what, Harrison? And I might sound biased because, I'm your parent, but I will tell you, since you've been a little child, since you could talk or walk, you were born with this heart of gold. And everyone who had close contact with you always said that they could feel your energy.
Yes.
And it was always there. You were always awake, and you just needed just something else, the intention stick, to bring you to full consciousness. And you just knew at such a young age, because you walked about like he would open the door for women. Like, he would try to open the door and let a woman in. Like, he just knew, and it wasn't even something I had taught him yet. It was just always within you.
Is that from me?
Yeah.
Ship off
I-
the
But you're
flower.
such a beautiful soul, and that's such a great example of selflessness and what we're all here to do, to connect and touch one
Yeah.
another and to inspire and uplift and impact one more person. And I'm sure that that individual has a lot of gratitude for what you did.
Yeah.
Carry that with you.
And I think that's the biggest. I mean, there's so many big pieces to the intention stick, and like it means so many different things to so many different people. But I think one of the biggest parts of it is that it's like a key. It's like a key to you have like an engine inside you, but and you don't know how to start it. But the intention stick is like a key that helps you ignite that like spiritual fire within you, because there's so many times where it's just having this or knowing that like some person could need this, or they would benefit from the intention stick, that it's easier to confront's not the right word, but it's easier to approach someone and say like, you know what, I have something for you. I think you could really benefit this from you. And before I don't know, many people might not, because they're not, in alignment with some of, beliefs and feelings. So I think it's truly like a key, and it kind of kickstarts a new way of thinking. Because how many times have I mean, me too, how many times have we all sat with people and we've given it to them and they're like, I get it. It's almost instant for some people.
Wow, Harrison, that's so profound. That's so beautiful, because it's kind of like you're turning on your soul, you're awakening your soul, you're awakening your consciousness, and what it's doing. And thank you for sharing that, because that is such a great metaphor.
You're like warming.
You're right, all right. Vroom, vroom. It's like so good, but and then it is you're just started, you're moving forward, literally, if that's the analogy we're going to use. But it is you're awakening, your consciousness is being elevated, and like you said, you're thinking about things in such a different way. That is, wow, I absolutely love that.
I love that. And it's also in alignment with what we say about understanding intention, that if you're not living with it, it's like getting into your car and driving without a destination. How do you know where you're going if you don't live with intention? How do you know where you're going, and how do you know what you want when you get there?
Exactly. I would love to share with you, not just as a parent, but just kind of standing back and witnessing and watching you grow and evolve and become the young man, an incredible young man that you are. But what I've noticed is that you've been able to speak your truth, your authentic self, and you really being who you are, which is incredible. And that's very difficult sometimes to achieve in this lifetime, because we're all worried about what everyone else in the world thinks of us.
Yeah.
Right? And we have to have this facade, and we have to make everyone other than ourselves happy. And
we're programmed to feel that way.
Exactly. And that's the one thing that I've really noticed, not always noticed your heart, that's been first and foremost, but your kindness, your truth, again, you knowing who you are. And that's what Mom and I have been able to witness, is this is allowing an individual to find out why they're here, right? Why am I here? Most people live their entire lives and they don't even know why, because you just said it. They've been programmed to wake up, have breakfast, go to work their whole lives, and why? And this is one, we know nothing's ever too late in life to change, right? Even myself and my whatever, we all have the ability to change if we want to. And that's so great that your age, meaning your generation, are being able to know these things before, fast forward 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now, when, oh, I wish I would have known. And that's why it's so important for, as we now say, the children, I'm talking about the 5, 10-year-old, and so on, that they can already start living that true authentic life, them being themselves, not the sheep in the herd.
Yeah.
And you are such an incredible example, because I know you speak your truth, and if someone doesn't like it, too bad. Not in a mean way, but
Right.
not going to change, nor mom and I. And but that's what this world's based on right now, is fear of being their authentic self, to really speaking their truth. And I know the stories you've shared with mom and I have been incredible. And I would love for you to share just how you've impacted maybe a couple few people that were really going through some really difficult times. And it was when you first moved out to California, but I'm so glad mom and I were there to at least guide or be there with you. So to not tell you what to do, this was all you.
Yeah. I mean, there's the cool part about giving an intention stick is that not everyone is necessarily going, I mean, we're all going through something, but some people are just, you know, they're just going through average life, and some people are going through some serious, you know, stuff. And so it's fascinating to see the different reactions that people take when you gift them an intention stick. I know, well, when I first moved to LA, I had a roommate whom I had never known prior to moving in. And as I got to know him, you know, I realized that we both had passions for different things, but our passions, our fire of our passions kind of aligned. But he was kind of stuck, I would say. You know, he knew what he wanted, but I think, like you were saying, that people get a little fearful that they're afraid to either go all in, or that what if it doesn't work, or, you know, am I truly right for this? And you kind of gotta push past it, but it's hard for a lot of people. And I gave him, you know, as time went on, I think you might benefit from this. This is something that I think you might connect with, because he was a very spiritual person. His girlfriend was very spiritual as well. And then as I would talk to them more about it, they really connected. They had that aha, you know, like I get it. That's what's missing from this picture, is that, you know, to really move forward, you have to be okay with what's going on internally. And, you know, there was an incident outside of our apartment. I don't want to go too deep on it. It was actually pretty tragic, but it caused him to leave. I think he's still in LA, but he had to move because of what he witnessed outside was just horrendous. But I know that after, you know, discussing with him and talking through it with him, and you know, just telling him that keep on his path, and, you know, like, yeah, there might be a lot of stuff, a lot of people that come in your way, and they might, you know, stand up, puff their chests up, or put up a wall, but you got to walk around or climb over it. And I mean, we all have to do it. I have to remind myself to do it every day. You know,
Absolutely.
It's easier to sit and watch Netflix than it is for me to write a new movie for Netflix. So it's just an ongoing battle. Because you gotta push away those demons, kind of, so to speak.
Yeah, right. Stop from fear.
Right.
Shut the heck up. Listen to this.
Yeah. It's kind of like a sort of light, you know. You know, and the demons are the darkness, or like those negative thoughts are the darkness, and you gotta just walk through the forest.
Yeah, you're harnessing. It's the light force.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was also one that's such a beautiful story, and I know you also had a dear friend that was going through some health issues that I'll never forget, because I'll let you share this story. But you called us and said, I would love for you to do blessings for my dear friend. He's going through some health issues, and we're on this end of we're in Arizona, you're in California, and you gave him an intention sticks, and we're holding hands and we're holding the monitors. We did those blessings, and I'll let you kind of preface what took prior, what was going on, so you can kind of share what took place right after.
Yeah, sorry, my AirPods just died, so that's
No worries, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I had a friend, and he was a pretty new friend. I think I'd known him about a year at that point, but he's kind of one of those guys that gets freaked out about a lot of different things, especially when it comes to health. And he had some biggest health issues, and he was going in for a checkup, I believe, and he was a little bit more nervous than usual. And then I had talked to my roommate Justin, who he does know very well, and he has an intention stake. And so I was discussing with him. I was like, "You think that our friend might benefit from having one of these?" And we both talked about it, and we agreed that he would understand. There's a lot, although we might think a lot of people understand the movement and what it means to have intention, but some people it takes a minute for them to fully understand. And I wasn't sure. That's why I had to ask Justin, because he knew him better than I did. So yeah, we both agreed that he would really benefit from him, and he would benefit from it. So I presented it to him, and chose his words, and he was kind of didn't know what to choose at first, but he picked, I believe he picked health and success and maybe something else. But yeah, then we had a call with you, and you walked him through, what the meanings of it, everything, and we all held hands and held onto the screen and blessing. And when the call was over, you could tell that he still was a little nervous, but he was much more relaxed. He's like, I feel better about it. And I think that's a big, powerful piece of the intention stick, is that once you realize that you can control those things, you can, if you just breathe, you just take a minute and just say, I will be okay. Everything's going to be fine if I believe it will be. And that's, because how many times have we during the whole pandemic, you're like, does that person have it? Does that person have it? And you start building up this anxiety within you, and you like, oh, is it hot in here? It's hot. You just stop thinking about it. You don't. I mean, the more you build your thoughts, the more it comes.
It's so
yeah.
Absolutely, that's really well said. And I remember, and actually the next day, you called us because he got really great news from his doctor.
Yeah.
Actually, everything was okay.
Yeah.
Which was just a blessing to hear for us, and I'm sure for you and Justin and for your friends. So that's, and just talk about divine timing, right? We just have to go with our intuition and know something feels right, and it's time for a friend or a loved one or someone you don't know that you just may have met that you missed more time.
There's been a time where I had one. I like to keep one or two in my glove box just in case. But there's been a time where I met someone in the store, and we just got to talking. And I was like, you know what? I'll be right back. I went and grabbed it.
Yeah.
That's right. I think people should keep at least one extra in their car for that.
You know what? Truly, we do. I don't ever, nor mom, leave the house with them in mom's purse, in my car, in my briefcase, in my gym bag.
Yeah.
I've literally left somewhere, and it's like, you need to give them an intention stick, turned all the way around, like driven 15 minutes back to where I was, and said, I know it's going to sound interesting, but here, and
I did.
I can't.
I had that same thing. When I first moved to LA and I worked at a cycling city, I got, after the many months of talking with this person, I realized that what he was doing was benefiting the marine life and all these things. He was really spiritual, and something was just pinging down, like, this guy
could use one, or he gets it. And he walked out, and I was like, I used to work with Justin, and so I said, I'll be right back. I ran outside, went to my car, and I said, I forget his name right now, but I said, he was about to get in his car. I said, hey, this, like you said, this might be a little weird, but I have this for you. And yeah, and he was really grateful and he understood it. And so you always got to, sometimes a lot of people have a pack of gum in their pocket. You got to have an extra intention statement.
Well, I was on a walk the other day, and I of course met someone along the walk, and I thought, you know what, I should now be carrying them when I'm taking walks, because I really would have loved to given this woman the intentions, because she noticed it and we just started having a conversation. And
I know, think about it. We given thousands and thousands away, and but that's why we're here, because if we can just impact that one person, that one soul that's going through something maybe much more difficult than what we're going through, that's why we get up every day, and it's why we will continue to do this the rest of our life until we transition it. And for you and Justin and Addison and Jaden, again, Mom and I say it's about the children, the grandchildren, the great grandchildren doing what we're brought here to do, and especially in a time that is so needed and what we're witnessing around the world. It is so important to continue. Yes, we're going through things. We're human. We're not Wonder Woman and Superman. I mean, we're Mom and Dad. We're Scott and Marla. We're just like anyone else in this world. And yes, we have our tests and challenges and obstacles and every day. So we're no different than anyone else in this world. And that's what we have to continue to let everyone understand, that we are all the same. We are going through things, but it doesn't mean we can't stop helping one another and making sure we have each other's backs, and those simple acts of kindness that should never stop, no matter what we're going through. And we're not doing it for, oh, well, if I do this, I'm going to get this back in return. No, we're doing it from our hearts. And this is what the world needs to start doing as well, and see that. Everyone, no matter what's going on right now.
I was listening to something, and they said when you think of everything as a win-win, you already lose. Because you shouldn't do things expecting something in return. You should just do it because you feel that that's what you need to do in that moment. The second you start needing tit for tat, then it's like, then why are you doing it? And then it's kind of a moot point.
Exactly.
I was looking over there was a blue jay sitting in the tree.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's beautiful sight. Beautiful sight.
So what's funny, I'm going back to what Mom was saying at the beginning of the journey, how this inspired us as an incredible artist in every aspect of that word, by the way, from drawing, painting, sketching, filming, writing, I mean, musician. I mean, there's so many hats you wear. I thought I wore a lot of hats, but you were inspired and you said, hey, Mom and Dad, I would like to design the package. I saw something and we're like, okay. And explain how that came to you, because this is going back 4.5 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I have to think a bit, but I think, it started because of the whole tree, as it grows. And if you actually take the time to slowly open the box, it kind of opens like a flower, like you pull the little tab and everything just kind of opens up, and it's just there presented. It almost in another way, it's kind of like I don't know, like an oyster, the pearl is there kind of as well.
That's beautiful. You actually said it, and you may not remember, but what Mom and I do remember is you said at the time, you said it opens up like a lotus flower.
Oh yeah.
With so we thought was so beautiful because of how spiritual and how beautiful the lotus flower
Yeah.
is, right?
And yeah, and the other thing I remember that was important to you when you were considering the whole process was that you wanted to stay to the integrity of the intention stick, that you wanted to keep to the minimal let's say idea and approach to the packaging,
purity.
to the purity of the intention stick, and that you didn't want to take away from it, that actually, in addition to the lotus flower, that it was coming alive, that it was being birthed.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Because as we say, that the intention stick has its own heartbeat. It becomes a part of us. And that's why it's so hard for you, as an example, to let go of it, to give to your friend.
Right.
But
it becomes a piece. It becomes a piece of you.
Yes, it does.
And
It carries your energy.
Sure. So when you open the packaging, it comes alive. It's already pulsating. It's ready.
Yeah.
It's ready for you.
And I know that may sound interesting to some that are watching this, but as we've shared many times, this has nothing to do with the piece of jewelry, as Marla just said, as Mom just said, it's worn on the inside for your heart and soul.
Yeah.
It does. It has, you know, I don't even know how many thousands of stories we've shared with you, but the energy that just five.
1,000.
Yeah, literally. You've heard them many, many times over. But the energy and the light that this puts out, whether you're doing something with it or not, you know, one of our friends gave one to his daughter right before he went to college and chose the word, and she wore it to school, and she took it off and put it on her nightstand. And she calls her dad the next day and said, I know this is going to sound interesting, but I can feel the energy from the intention stick sitting on my nightstand. Right?
That's crazy.
There's so many stories like this that we've had spiritual leaders say to friends that are walking in, like, wow, your aura is off the charts. And from across the room, what is that? And they're pointing to the so that's what I'm saying. These aren't the normal conversations that most people have about spirituality. And by the way, your spiritual journey, Harrison, has been incredible. I mean, just how you've grown and your understanding, and that also is something so incredible for someone that may not be spiritual, but they start receiving. Their heart walls come down so that their hearts are open to receive what they're asking for. And that, and your journey, just wow. It really has been incredible to witness that, not as a parent, but as another beautiful soul. And you already know how proud Mom and I are of you. It's just the stories that you're sharing with us that we didn't know are just makes us love you even more.
And we also are grateful that you chose us as your parents, because you have been a teacher to us, just as the other kids are as well. But you've taught us a lot along our journey. So we're grateful.
Patience, definitely patience. Unconditional love, because no matter what happens, no matter good, bad, indifferent, as Mom and I are with everyone, but that's unconditional love. We love you. We love everyone, no matter what, right? And I love what Mom just said. You and yes, your siblings have been our biggest teachers. We learn more from you than sometimes I think we can teach you. So
for sure,
that's what this is about. Sometimes as adults, and I'm not just talking Mom and I, I'm talking anyone that's listening. Listen to the children, right? Stop trying to control their lives, right? This is, as we knew from very, very young, meaning when you were a child, that listen, we led our lives and our lives are still growing and evolving, but this is your journey. You know, I know I've shared as well as Mom, I didn't go to school for me, because if I were to have gone to school, I would have been an art major and a sculptor and a painter, because that's what I loved growing up. But that wasn't politically correct in my parents' eyes. You needed to go for business and marketing or a profession. And when we saw what inspired you or your siblings, we made sure that it made you happy, and you should do what you want to do and what fills you up and what inspires you, versus a lot of times mom and I hear parents saying, I want him to play baseball and I want him to be the best, and I. And sometimes we forget as a parent, okay, I know we want this, but what do you want? I know you want to make your child the best basketball, football, baseball, whatever that may be, artist, dancer, but is that really what that child or you want? And we forget that, right? We don't need to live vicariously through our children because we didn't get to achieve maybe what we did as a child. So that, I think, was such a beautiful lesson for mom and I, to let you be who you are, even if it wasn't something that we may have agreed with, or maybe in our eyes was right or wrong, but we allowed you to figure that out for yourselves or your sibling selves. And I think that is probably.
Well, I think also, in addition to that, it's important to help our children be caring people, because
Support.
well, that they have to be caring individuals, because at the end of the day, when you go out on your journey, it's up to us to give you those wings to fly, and we have to care about the world around us. We have to care about our brothers and sisters out there. We have to care about our environment. We have to care about every living creature that's out there. And I think that, yes, we want people around us to be happy, but truly we want them to be caring individuals. And,
Yes.
and that's significant.
Wow. So thank you, as mom said, allowing us to be your parents. You chose us, right? And we can't wait for the rest of your journey to continue to unfold. And by the way, talking about your generation, how would you say to someone, now you just turned 26 in April, and for someone that's just starting off maybe after school or a young adult, how they can use this, how you can however you see that, am I saying that correctly? What you would recommend to someone that may not have an intention to take, and how this is helping you, or what you recommend?
I would say, well, first get one.
Yes, we agree. Yes.
No, but I mean, for those that might be skeptical of it, or just, I think the easiest way to compact it down, compact the entire idea down is just go for it. Just whatever you are intending to do in life, just do it. Whether you succeed or you fail, just do it, because the day after you succeed or you fail, you're like, well, at least I did it. Because the last thing you want is to be 99, surrounded by your family, and be like, shit, I should have done that thing 20, 30 years ago. Now you can't. So, it's hard. I mean, it's easier said than done. I struggle with it. I'm sure you guys too. But the more that you push yourself, the more that you say this a lot, is that you just try to be better than you were yesterday. And I think that's the most important thing that you can do in life is whatever happened yesterday, but how can you do something? How can you push forward today?
Yeah.
And I think that's what everyone needs to do, whether you have an intention or not. I think the more that you focus on positivity and have a goal, and as long as you know that sure, it might not, that if you look down, that's a straight line, but if you look top down, it's going like this. But as long as you know where the point is, then you'll get there. And it's definitely not going to be easy, but you just got to keep going forward. And that's one of the things that I try to do is prove the people, and the people being myself as well, is prove those people wrong. That if they say, oh, there's no way you can do that, you know, oh yeah, watch me, because I'm going to do it. And that's what I've done. You guys know with my film, with my Western movie that I did, the professor who ran the school said that there's no way, like, you shouldn't do this. I'm not gonna help you do this. And I said, okay. And I walked into his office, and as I was walking out, I said, F you, watch me. And I made it. I did it. I raised all the money that I needed, and I did it. But because, you know, and
Yes.
and I think, you know, a lot of people might crumble under that. They're like, you can't do this, I won't allow you. You're like, okay. And then,
Right.
but, you know, and I think that's the thing that this intention to allow, it's a tool to help and reinforce that, is that sure, maybe you can't necessarily do it, but at least you believe you can. And I think that's the most important part. That sure, you might not be able to lift, you know, I might not be able to pull that one of those trees out of the ground, but if I think I can, then maybe I can. And I think that's the most important part, is that as long as you believe that you can succeed, then nothing should stop you.
Correct.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's so spot on, right? Remember what I said to you? If your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. And if you would realize who's walking by your side, right? Your soul, and who we're being guided by, whether someone says God, the universe, the source, the light, we can achieve anything we put our minds and our hearts and souls to. And the people that say you can't, that's okay. You don't have to. I know you said, yeah, watch me. I know you said that to yourself, but you do it because it's making you happy. You're not allowing someone to tell you, no, you can't, because sometimes this is what tells us, no, you can't.
You're not, I mean, you're not doing it to prove that person wrong necessarily. You might be, but you're also doing it to prove to yourself that you can.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I think that's, for me, that's what it is. You know, I don't care that guy told me I can't do it. Like, he's a drop of water in the bucket of people I know. You know, he's got no hold over me now, and sure, maybe he did for 20 minutes, but I don't care what he thinks anymore. I don't have no attachment to.
That's such a great point, Harrison. That 20 minutes that you could either allow that person to make you feel horrible, or that person empowered you. And it's how you chose to take it and use it and to move forward.
Right.
And that's why that's such a beautiful message.
Beautiful message.
That's it, Harrison. We never know who is in our lives for what reasons and why they say certain things. But you, or whomever is listening to this right now, don't let the person who may be going through something, who may not be happy, could be very miserable, and whatever that situation may be, impact your life and suck that light and love and passion out of you. Because what you did is you took it, and it was like it fed that fire, and you just moved forward and you crushed it. And that's such the message to share right now with everyone. Yes, we're being pushed down with the COVID and the staying home and the horrificness we're seeing with everyone in this world right now. But we have to take that energy, and it's not negative, but turn it into a positive and continue to move forward and know we're here to help one another.
You know, I would say sit with the discomfort. Embrace the discomfort, embrace the negativity that you might be feeling, and hold on to it, and really try to understand, why am I feeling this right now? It's okay
Yeah.
to feel uncomfortable or upset about something, but ground yourself in it and enough to understand why I might be going through it. Because our perception is that it's bad. Our perception is that it's negative. Our perception is that everything's happening to me. But you have the ability to be the master of your destiny, the master of your life.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
otherwise, you are allowing your life to be in the hands of others.
Yeah.
Not on our watch. That was beautiful. Anything else? I don't want this call or conversation to end, even though we get to talk with you every day, but this was so special. This was so beautiful. And I know we'll have many more beautiful conversations. And so proud of you. Yes, as a parent, but as another soul to soul connection, your journey, and love you so much, and continue just being that giant, beautiful golden heart that you are, and all the beautiful souls you continue to touch, because we know how you make others feel. And that's the most beautiful gift you can give to someone else. Right?
I love you, Harrison. I have so much love.
I love you too.
And as always, we sign off. And as you know, Mom and Dad are sending you blessings and intentions of gratitude, light, and love. And we love you, we love you, we love you. We honor you, we honor you, we honor you, and we are so proud of you. We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. Love you.
Love you.
Don't stay out too late.
Thanks for having me.
It was our pleasure, truly.
It was fun.
Have
Yeah.
such a blessed evening. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.